to be able to, as the CEO of the company, if you really want to inspire people and you want to create an amazing company with low retention issues, meaning everybody wants to work there, nobody wants to leave, step one for you is to know so clearly where you're going that it's very easy to articulate that and help other people to see it. Because if you can do that one thing, then every day when people are coming to work, they're not coming to work thinking, oh, I'm gonna go make another widget. Oh, I gotta go control this thing. Oh, I gotta read another freaking complaining email in the support emails. It won't be any of that. They'll be excited about going to work every day because they know the path that you're on and why you're doing it. Then the second thing to that, I think the second part of the CEO's role and the second part of my role is to mentor the senior managers. So in my companies right now, I have 7 people that report directly to me. These are the senior managers in our businesses. And my job with them is the most important job in the whole company. I have to teach them how to lead people. I'm not going to teach them how to do their freaking jobs. I'm hiring them because they can do their jobs. What my job is with each of our managers is to teach them the importance of understanding that every person that works for them is a human being and that they deserve the same respect that they get from me, and to set an example for those managers so they can see how I treat them. And I tell them, I want you to treat everybody that works for you the same way I treat you. So it's creating a culture. That's part two. If you build your business the right way, you're eventually going to get to a point where you've got a Tammy Stanley that's running your business as the president, and you get to focus on two simple things: creating the vision for where the ship is going, steering it in the right direction, and making sure that you build a culture. The best culture in any company to build is one that starts with you. Focus on making yourself the right leader, the best leader, your health, your fitness, your attitude, the way you communicate with people. And if you do that properly and you tell your managers, this is really important. I think one of the biggest mistakes that CEOs make is they don't openly have these conversations. They don't know how to. They feel like it's weird and it's icky and it's all interpersonal and a kumbaya and huggy, and they don't want to do it. Well, if you don't talk about this stuff openly, they don't know you're saying it. So what I do with all my managers, my direct reports, I tell them that I live my life trying to be the best person I can, the way I communicate with people, the way I talk to people, the way I act around people. And I'm doing that for two reasons. Number one, it makes me a better leader and more people like me. And number two, I'm giving them an example that I want them to follow. I want them to do the same thing with their people that I do with them. And you know what the most important part about this whole rant is? Don't wait until you have direct reports. Don't wait until you've got people working for you who have people working for them. Don't wait for any of that. If you truly want to get to where I am, or you want to get further where I am, you got to start doing this stuff today. Start by focusing on you, body, mind, and spirit. Start by focusing on eating properly, getting to the gym, reading, developing. Become the best version of yourself so that when you've got those people that report to you, you don't have to figure out how to act, and you've already created that person. True, you have to have thick skin. If you're going to succeed in any business, you're going to have to scale. Businesses can't sit stagnant. One of my mentors, Nick Boothman, has been saying for years, businesses are either growing or going. There's no middle ground. And it's incredibly true. And what happens is, as you're growing, and you're getting more prominence and you're getting out there into the market, people are going to shoot at you. They're going to shoot at you. And so you have to just accept it. The smartest thing any owner or CEO can do, especially if you're sitting in the driver's seat, if you are the principal of your company, is surround yourself with amazing people. Get really good people on your team. Hire the best quality people you can. And your job as a CEO, your number one goal is to motivate those people. Hire great people to do the work, and you motivate them to keep doing it. That's probably one of my guiding principles for my business and everything that I do in it. I think a lot of people deal with imposter syndrome, and they let imposter syndrome paralyze them and stop them from moving forward. And I want to tell you guys, first and foremost, it doesn't matter how big you get in life. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable you get. You are always going to be forced with making decisions that are very uncomfortable for you and that just don't sit right. And whenever you make a decision, or you're trying to make a decision that has to do with you growing and doing more, getting more out into the limelight, getting in front of more people. A lot of people, they get that uneasy feeling in their stomach. And especially when it comes to making decisions, decisions that's going to impact them one way or another. They get really uncomfortable about that. And I want to, first of all, stop you from doing that ever again. If you're starting a little business and you're trying to scale your business, it's not going to feel comfortable for you in the beginning. It's not going to be easy. In fact, it will be painful for you. And a lot of people who know they have to do it, they get into this stuff, they start to try and build a following, get more people paying attention to them, they stop themselves. And they've heard this term called imposter syndrome. And they cling to that saying, oh, it's imposter syndrome. I'm struggling with imposter syndrome. You might not like this, but I'm gonna call you out. It's bullshit. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as imposter syndrome. Some phrase that some marketing guru created to make you feel like you've got a crutch that you can lean on when you're trying something new. Here's the reality. Whenever you're trying anything new, it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna make you feel weird. You're gonna fight against it naturally because it's hard to get in the habit of doing things that are gonna make you grow. It's not fucking imposter syndrome. It's just that uncomfortable feeling when your endorphins get going and when your energy levels start going in your body, you feel more. Anyway, I get that feeling all the time whenever I'm making big decisions in my company. Two things that I wanna share with you. Number one, you've heard me say this a boatload of times. You can't manage anything you can't do. If I look back at my entrepreneurial journey and I look at the portfolio that I'm managing today, in a pinch, I could literally jump into any one of the companies and do any one of the things. In most of our companies, we use salespeople. We're building a sales team. I can do sales. I used to teach sales for a living. And then, of course, digital marketing. I have been doing digital marketing for 15 years, and that's what all these records are. Every one of these records represents $1 million in revenue that I've made in a different business, and those are awards for digital marketing excellence. So I've done all these things, and that's probably the biggest thing. You can't manage anything that you can't do. The second part of this framework, if you want to call it that, is I have the right people doing the right jobs. One of my mentors told me that when you're hiring people, hire people fast, fire people faster. So you got to get the right people in the right jobs. You can't hire people until you're making enough money that you can afford their salaries, because the worst thing you can do in business is hire somebody and not be able to pay them on time. They deserve the income that they make, and you've got to reward them for that. The other thing is you got to pay for excellence. You got to pay the most money you can. So if I was starting again, if you're watching this, you're probably not in a place where you have 8 different businesses that you're managing at the same time. If I was starting again, the thing that I would do right from scratch is I would look at all the different things I could do, and I would learn new skills. And the number one most important skill, when I look back at the whole journey, the most important skill that I learned is digital marketing. So I started studying digital marketing back in 2012, and I've had an amazing mentor in most of that journey. His name is Russell Brunson, one of the top digital marketers in the world. And when I started learning digital marketing, I was building online courses and teaching people some of the other things that I was learning in digital marketing. But then I also had this love for real estate investing, and I've been doing it for over 25 years. So I decided to combine digital marketing, which is a skill that I mastered, with real estate investing and teaching people how to invest in real estate. Again, think about what I'm saying. These are skills I mastered first, and I did it well first. So how do you master skills? Friends, I'm telling you, if there is anybody that's watching these videos and you are not studying digital marketing and you're not learning how to do it, do that. That's probably the best skill in the world we live in today. Learning about how digital marketing works, learning how to run paid advertising, and how to use artificial intelligence in marketing. I would say if anybody came to me today and said, what should I get into if I'm struggling trying to figure out where I want to go in school? What should I get into? That's what I would tell them to do. Learn that skill first. Yeah, and so my piece of advice to anybody that's building a business, and this is really for people that have businesses that you've already got employees in it, and you've got managers in it. So we have right now about 55 employees on staff in our companies, and we have 7 managers. And I have a responsibility as the founder and CEO to make all the businesses grow. But I have to do it in a way that I don't step on the toes of the people that you just heard from. These are the key stakeholders, the manager. But as I want to talk to you just for a second as the CEO of the business, where you have a business you want to scale. The secret, I think, to doing this and why we're having so much fun in our companies and making so much money is that I realized from my years of experience doing this stuff that what I want to do to make my businesses grow as the CEO is hire the right people to do the right jobs. So I put those people in place and I give them full responsibility to run their businesses. Notice I say run their businesses. Of course they're mine. Of course I own them. But I've got deals put together with them where they get revenue overrides and they have little tiny percentages of equity that they can get. So it really is their business. And I let them own it. I let them have complete control of it because that's what they want. And then what I do is I talk to each one of them. I communicate with them incessantly. And you need to communicate with your managers all the time. And I say to them, listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you into a consortium with all the other managers and we're going to do leadership training together and we're going to have lots of fun together. And I want you to think about what we're doing and do the same thing with your stakeholders, your key people. And we give them budgets for it and everything. So my biggest piece of advice to somebody who's scaling a company, and this is for really advice for people that are already making millions of dollars a year and you're trying to scale your business, what you need to do is think about things that you can do to bring those people together, let them build relationships together, and then focus on helping them to become better leaders. See, my job is to inspire them. My job is to motivate them. My job is to help them become better leaders. And so part of what we do is have fun.